Daga sa bumamang si Sakuyang matang ibinukla. Ito kay di lumana ko na malakala. Kaso ihiling ko si Sakuya iyang matabalitas. Sino na ba ang hindi ko maliwanag sa rumbang kahitaan? Nakakang mo ako, inuninig sa lungkanggang sa lubak mo. Naturukan, pagkukuntisimong mo sa siyohanan. Tapos ako mamang si Sakuyang matang ibinagla. Ay tungkay di naman ako nangalakad na. Kaso ihiling ko si Sakuyang matabalitas. Sino na ba ang piling ko maliwanag? For all of you the sons, this is for you. Sa kanuna sa aking kanina usay makamay ako nganong nabuhi ka ni malibutan nganong ang bigat ng mahal ko sa aking dasal. Sa lahat ng
Uncut. I'm Buddy Kunana, and tonight's guest is Stephanie Reese in our show, Meet Stephanie Reese. Welcome back to our second segment, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And wow, amazing performance, and that was at the Saban Theater.
Yes.
In Beverly Hills in
Yes.
Los Angeles, and you were playing with the
Filipino American Symphony Orchestra,
Symphony
FASO,
Orchestra,
as they like to be called. Yes.
Now you were singing it's not really a classic, but it's a new classic, a new Tagalog classic, Ikaw, and a beautiful song in that. And how was that? I mean, like, when you were singing it, I could hardly detect any accent. Amazing job.
Wow. Well, I'm very happy to hear you say that. I wonder if my Tagalog tutor would think the same, but thank you. I think it's easier when you're singing to catch the accent a little bit more than if you're trying to speak. But
you try hard to suppress your accent? Do you try hard to
Yeah, I do. I mean, I try to learn everything correctly, and oftentimes people still say, oh, but I still hear, but I can't tell what it is. It's easier for me with European languages for some reason to catch where my accent is showing through, but I find Tagalog a tough language to learn so far, but I'm working on it.
How was it like to sing with a full orchestra on stage?
It's fabulous because, you know, when you're doing a musical, they're in the pit, and when they're up there with you, it's amazing. I also sang with the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra before, and I've sung with a few orchestras, but there's just something different, you know, when you're standing in it as an artist in your own right, and the sound behind you, it's
and the
fabulous.
energy of all the musicians, you know, I mean, it's a lot of passion being you know, exuded on that stage.
Absolutely.
By all these artists.
Very
Do you feel
much.
it? Do you feel like a unison with them?
I do, and it's scary too because, you know, I had been used to singing with my, like, I have smaller versions, or, you know, little where I'm more in control. This, like, you really have to be in the right tempo and rhythm of a song, and you can't do nuances unless you've really planned it, because it's like 50 people that you're affecting if you do some longer extended line. But it's
talking about a longer extended line, you pulled a little like a little differentiation in that song, in that Ikaw, Ikaw. In the last part, your voice kind of went up.
Flipped to my up. I tend to do that. I try to throw in like an opera note, so to make something my own.
You make it your own. It sounds like American Idol almost.
Yeah,
you make it your own.
You do, because especially here in the Philippines, I noticed that. Well, I didn't even just notice. I've been told to cover music. They always want you to cover. In the States, they want your original songs, and I have original songs, but here they really want to hear songs they already know. So I was like, I don't mind doing songs that they already know, but I want to do songs they already know and do them my way, so that I'm not just covering something, a version of somebody's song exactly as they do it, you know?
Yes. You know, interesting what you said in the first segment. You said that in the Philippines, there's a lot of pressure on you. Because, I mean, as you mentioned, there's a very big singing culture here, and a lot of people sing, and you being not really a foreigner, but like an outsider almost, coming to the Philippines and presenting yourself as a singer, people expect something from you. Now, how do you differentiate yourself from all the other singers here in the Philippines? What is special about Stephanie Reese? What do you bring to the table?
I think that, you know, every singer, myself and all singers, have to find what is their own personal, I guess, expression. I guess for me personally, I do mix a lot of different genres, so that's definitely a sort of an original thing. But even more so, I think, than just the genres, I think it's the idea that I really try to find the acting in each piece that I can. And I think all singers do that as much as they can, or I hope they do, because I think that's what makes singers exciting to watch, when their heart is attached to the lyric. And to me, that is sort of my thing that makes singing really important to me. And I try to do that whether I'm here in the Philippines or anywhere else. But I would say, though, probably my audience is going to say, oh, it's because you can sing opera and jazz and pop and everything, and that diversity is sort of a signature mark of mine.
Where do you get inspiration from to push this these feelings out when you sing, to emote? Where do you get inspiration from?
Life.
Good answer.
I mean, I always said, you know, and I learned this in acting class, that all human beings are the same. You know, we all love, we all hate, we all have pain, we all, you know, have glory and defeat. And I think that it's my deep need and desire that that my singing will help people feel those emotions, and emotions maybe that they don't get to express in their lives, that they can feel them through me, in a song. And I really, I tend to not be the person who tries to zen my way out of emotion in my daily life. I really try to feel the things I feel because it gives me some juice for...
Yeah, that pool of emotion to draw on when you have to perform.
Yes.
And bring it to the next level.
Absolutely.
Not just sing, just mouth off words and do it mechanically, but really get into the act, get into the performance.
Yeah, and you have to find that connection that makes that love that's true for you is true, for everybody who can, that relatable quality. Sometimes it's not even the songs, it's the spiels in between the music that set up the songs, that help people understand where you're coming from, whether you've lost somebody or whether you've just fell in love for the first time. In that clip, He Touched Me is sort of a prelude. The prelude to that was a story that I told about somebody that I had met and fell in love with, and then comes the song. And I think that really helps give the audience that theatrical feeling, but also helps them think about the first time they fell in love, for example.
Does it wear you out? Does it take a lot out of you when you perform? I'm sure it does.
I think it does, yeah. And I've been told, and I do try to do this. If I'm singing for 5 people, doing a gala or doing a huge concert, I try to give absolutely everything every time because I do love it that much. And
you bring it every time. Try to bring it.
Yeah, everyone's like, God, this isn't Madison Square Garden. This is a seminar. What are you doing? And I'm like, well, I really love what I do, and I don't believe in giving second or half. So
that is so good to hear. I mean, it shows that you have the passion to really practice your craft and take it to the highest level.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's talk about your work on stage. You have experience doing Broadway musicals.
Yes.
See, I'm refraining using the word Broadway, but Broadway musicals.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, of course, I started in Miss Saigon was my big profession, but I had already been doing lots of musicals around the States and summer stock and local shows in Seattle and in California. But when I went to Miss Saigon, that was sort of was my dream. I used to sleep with Lea Salonga's CD under my pillow.
Of course, she was the first Miss Saigon along with Monique Wilson.
Yes.
In the U.S.
I wore that tape, that CD down, and the VHS tape of the making of. I wore it out until it broke. Not a joke. And she was just an idol for me. And I think that she paved the way for so many of us. And then after that, when I got into Miss Saigon, then I immediately got cast for the next year to do Hunchback of Notre Dame. And from there, that crossed over into me doing The King and I in London. And London was really a huge dream of mine because...
Where you did... what did you do in London?
The King and I.
The King and I with Jason Scott Lee.
Yes, yes, he was our king.
We all know is the martial arts
yes,
actor.
Bruce Lee. He played Bruce Lee.
He played Bruce Lee in Dragon. I didn't know he appeared on stage as well.
I think that was his first real musical, and wow, and all the girls would go to the side of the stage at the part where the king was about to whip the princess, and because he takes his shirt off, and we're like, whoof, like he's really...
No, he's kind of buff, absolutely.
Yeah, super buff.
He's a karate man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, okay, of course, you say Miss Saigon, people connect this to Lea Salonga. I mean, she was the first Miss Saigon, but
she was, yeah.
You performed in the German production in Stuttgart.
Yes, in the German language.
Yes, yes.
And
how was that?
It was amazing. I mean, it was...
It is in German?
In German.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you sing Sun and Moon and all these other songs auf Deutsch, huh?
You just do. Du die Sonne und ich Mond. It sounds a little odd, but it's really...
Nice.
Somehow it felt like opera in a way because it was in a foreign language.
Very classic, in the classic language, of course. German is a classic opera language.
It was different. It was definitely different. And Hunchback, we rehearsed in New York, and then we went and we opened in Germany. So, and that role of Esmeralda, that I had the opportunity to play that role, and it was mostly dialogue and a few songs. I mean, so to learn it phonetically, because I don't speak German, was really difficult. I was the only non-speaking German playing the role, because there were 4 of us, and it was a big challenge. It was a big challenge, but it was really cool to see how language isn't really about what it's about. It's the emotion behind the language. So
Now, quickly, let's talk about a recent gig you had. You had a gig 2 days ago.
Yes.
Friday night at the Music
Friday-
Museum.
yeah.
Quickly tell us about how that all panned out.
well, it was amazing, really amazing. We had Jed Modello and Luke Maharis and the Philippine Madrigal singers. And Mel Villano was my musical director with the AMP Big Band, and Raymond Lychenko was the director, and it was just simply the best dream team I could have ever asked for. And it was a stretch for me because, as I said, I do shows with a lot of diversity, but usually I choose all the music myself, and it's not so swing, jazz, American songbook heavy, and this one was really more of that. And so it was a nice stretch for me to learn a lot of different things. And yeah.
Well, we certainly congratulations on your show,
Thank
and we
you.
certainly look forward to more Stephanie Reese gigs
Yeah.
and concerts in days
Thank
to come.
you.
Would you like to say something to the audience before we present you for your final number for this evening?
Sure. Well, I just want to say thank you for having me, Buddy, and also please follow me on Twitter, Stephanie Reese at stizzer.com, and or on Facebook and my fan page, and look forward to I have another album that'll be coming out next year, and I hope that you get it, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. More power to you, and good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you. So, guys, more of Stephanie Reese. We're going to present her now. She's going to sing a very beautiful song for us, and she has a lot of distinctions. She is actually the first Filipino-American-born singer ever to stage a solo concert at the famed Carnegie Hall in New York, and she was named as one of the top 100 most influential Filipinas in the United States. So, guys, without further ado, let me present live here in GNN the beautiful and talented Stephanie Reese.
Now you see well, just to prove that you do, well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. Now you say you are sorry for being so untrue. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. You drove me, nearly drove me out of my home. Why, you never shed a tear. Remember, I remember all that you said. Told me love was too plebeian. Told me you were through with me. And you say nothing. Well, just to prove that you never cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. I times. This is for you. Kaso ihiling ko sa sago, iyang matabalitas. Simula pa ang hiling ko maliwanag sa rumbangin, sa higdaan. Nakadang mo ko, inuninig sa lunggangan, sa lulak mo, naturukan. Pagkukuntisimos sa siyohanan, tapos ako magsisakuyang mapipilitan. May tunggay di naman ako nangalakad na. Ang hulak ko kanina, ang bigat ng